Sweet. All right. Welcome back. Faro at home. We're here. I'm Chef Patrick. I'm joined today by Lisa.
You forgot me already.
Yeah, we're here. No guests, so it's just up to us to make this awesome for you. So, anyway, welcome. Today we are doing some seared Pacific sole with some roasted radishes tossed with the Radish-Top pesto, and we're gonna do a little Beurre Blanc to kind of tie it all together. So it's gonna be great. This will be a fast one, super simple, super easy kind of deal. So anyway, yeah, we'll get started. So we are roasting veggies, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the oven going. Now I roll 500 broil max, whatever it is on your oven. Cool. So we will clean radishes really quick, and then we can just get some pesto going and whatnot. So we're trying to use these up as many ways as possible. So we've done some whole sauteed, we've done some cut up, made into a salad, and today we're gonna roast the bottoms and turn the tops into pesto. So I'm gonna kind of clean any damaged leaves off really quick and pick off the root. We'll get them rinsed and separate them. Cool. Yeah, I'm just looking for little leaves like this that are a little bruised or yellowed.
Towards the center of the...
Which way?
Yeah, more towards the center of the board, thank you. It doesn't quite have the whole bottom of your board in view.
Oh, I can move it. Yeah, these leaves here, kind of yellowed.
And what were you doing with those?
I'm just removing them before, and then pinching off the root how I've been cleaning these.
Yeah, we just got back from Kentucky, which was super fun. We got to hit up the Bourbon Trail a little bit and check out some good restaurants and some new things, and still feeling a little lag from being on 2 time zones, and we just got back yesterday, so 9 hours in the car, and it was a long drive through Kansas and Colorado.
Yeah.
I think it's going to take a few more days to recover.
But
A lot of fun, though.
good times.
Yeah.
Really
Highly
was.
recommend going if you've never been.
Really good food. We were in the Lexington area, but yeah, it was awesome.
Really beautiful countryside.
Yeah, and driving out, you're going through and you kind of see the some confined animal feed operations, as you're going through, and you kind of see it in person. And these weren't really big ones. These were probably, well, not probably, they were super small in comparison to like some of them. But it's funny, they're like all these cows in a pen just hanging out in mud and
Surrounded by open fields.
surrounded by the open fields that they grow the corn to feed them. And literally makes no sense when you see it in person, because it's just like you could put the native prairie grasses in the ground and let those cows wander around on the land that surrounds the freaking feedlot. And you would have
Healthy, happy animals instead of ones that are sick and pumped full of all kinds of hormones and antibiotics because they're not living their natural life.
You can't pump them full of hormones.
Well, they do at least do the antibiotics.
But either way, they'd be much happier.
Yeah.
And we did see a lot of cows just grazing in open fields. So, there's definitely some of it. I'm not saying everybody isn't, but.
Well, yeah, and after seeing those crazy storms that rolled through, you can kind of see the impact that conventional farming has on the land. The waters took much, much longer to recede than, that was a good week and a half before we got out there. Just the soil's inability to hold water at all.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
terrible to see how
part of-
flooded all of it still was at that point in time.
yeah, there was, I mean, a lot of water dumped. They had a year's worth of water in a week, so it's pretty wild.
Yeah, agreed.
But I don't know if, I mean, it could have helped soil management, but I think a lot of that was just the rivers overflowing.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, yeah, some part of that was. It didn't flood for that reason, but
Yeah.
I think the water stayed where it was because of that reason.
Yeah.
Because the soil couldn't take it.
A week and a half before we drove out, and then there for Monday through Friday, and on our way home, the water was just starting to go down. It was sad. I mean, I felt bad.
Agreed.
You know, it looked like a lot of fields turned into lakes, really. That's how it looked anyway from the road. So,
Yeah, happy to be back in the mountains, though.
yeah. Cool. So we're filling this up. We're just going to get these nice and rinsed how we usually do, because you don't really want the sandy veg or the roots. And
Those look beautiful. They're such a deep red.
yeah.
Those are gorgeous.
Yeah, they're perfect for today. Like, this is one of the 3 in the Easter egg radish mix, so it's great for Easter.
Yeah, happy Easter.
If you can find your Easter egg radishes, they'll have these red ones, and then there will be a purple one and a white one. And they're just a nice mix.
Oh, they're so pretty. Although I like the breakfast radishes too. They're really pretty.
Yeah. We'll kind of eat those tomorrow. Cool. So on these, if they're this size, I'm going to leave them whole just because they're nice.
How big is that?
This is like the size of a nickel
Okay.
for size reference.
Like in diameter?
Yeah, I'd say, just looking at it. And then we have some that are like almost $half size.
Cool.
Maybe a little bigger than a quarter here. So we're going to cut these in half, but we're going to make pesto. I'm just trying to shake. We'll shake as much water off as we can.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to get too much water in your pesto. Will
And
that cause it to separate?
no, it'll just emulsify it more.
Oh, okay.
But I just don't. Try not to dilute the flavors too much. And these little stems are tender, so you can leave them that are on the rads there. Yeah, we picked some wild caught Pacific sole for today. I really wanted to get the Colorado bass from the San Luis Valley, but I really don't know where to get it as a consumer. So there's that.
Oh, they didn't have it at the Whole Foods?
No. So I don't really know where you'd pick it up. Trying to get like a truly local, sustainable, like, you know, the trout farm that was down there went out of business. There's a commercial trout place in Boulder, but they're like stocking ponds and stuff with that trout. Last time I inquired, they weren't selling it, just to small operations, but
Yeah.
it's all good.
Imagine it's probably hard for them to like sell to the public.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be
Yeah,
kind of annoying. Hey, can I get one fish? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of a pain in the ass, but yeah, I don't know. So as far as local options for seafood, you're kind of out of luck, because unless you're going fly fishing or something, you're not going to get it. But yeah, we got this wild caught Pacific sole. It's very similar to flounder. It's going to be a much smaller fish, but really light flaky, tasty. Be really good with this this meal here. Red snapper would be good. That would be very similar to the Colorado hybrid bass.
Snapper's always good.
Yeah, just avoid the American reds. They're way overfished. So porgies are plentiful. It's a snapper. It's pink snapper. Yellowtail snapper. A lot more bones, so they're a pain in the ass if you get them in and have to pin bone them, but they're still really good.
How do you know whether or not you'd have to pin bone something if you're at home?
You just have to run your hand down the fillet.
What are you feeling for?
Bones. You'll feel them.
Like they stab you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you get small enough trout, you don't have to pin bone them. Those pin bones will dissolve when you cook it.
Mm-hmm.
But
they dissolve?
Yeah, because they're because with small trout, like the bones are it's more closer to resemble cartilage-ish. And they're not fully developed bones yet.
Okay.
So they kind of just, but that's only on smaller trouts. I mean, you start getting bigger trouts than they are. It's kind of like a miniature version of a salmon. So they have bones running down the whole fillet.
Are there certain fish that have less bones that you don't have to worry about, or is this something you can maybe ask the seafood people at the
Well,
counter?
I mean, most people at the counters when they do fillets, they're pin boning and stuff for you. It's just good to feel for them because you can miss them.
How do you remove them?
Oh, you need tweezers or something. You could use needle nose pliers. Clean them off from your garage, but they'll get bones out. Or if you have a specific needle nose pliers that you keep in the kitchen, they're always nice.
Do you have those?
What?
Do you have those still?
I have some, yeah.
I mean, I figured you had them for the restaurant, but I didn't know if you still kept them.
Yeah, I've got them. Cool. So, really should have a dry bowl. I'm gonna oil these. Cool. Smaller ones we'll throw right in.
You're not putting your bowl on the board.
Oh, I can
Thanks.
put it up here. That's nice, right? In the
Yeah,
shot.
we could see that.
Cool. How many guests do we have with us today?
2.
2.
I didn't expect a big turnout for Easter.
So that'd be
Think
my
people are
mom
busy.
and your mom?
Probably.
Nice.
Sorry, we appreciate the support. I think some people got faked out when I scheduled the live. We were in Kentucky, and it scheduled it on Eastern time. I opened the scheduling app around 3 o'clock and realized that it was waiting for me to go live then. So sorry if you guys did tune in earlier. I didn't realize that it was going to default to whatever time zone I was in. That wasn't just going to stick to the one that I'm typically in.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
Hopefully we didn't have too many people waiting for us at the wrong time.
People that are here are going to learn something new.
Yeah.
So, radish tops. I'm going to just pinch off the bulk of the stem because in the food processor and whatever, when you're making this, it's just not gonna, they're tender, but we want to limit that a little bit. Don't want some really stemmy pesto. So.
Even after you run that through the food processor, would it still be stemmy?
Yeah, so it can get stringy.
Oh, okay.
So
Little fibers that peel.
kind of you can see this.
Mm-hmm.
So a Vitamix typically could process this kind of stuff, but a food processor might just get a lot of stringiness in in your pesto. And I mean, even when you're doing like basil pesto, you're not throwing a bunch of stems in there. I mean, you're mostly...
Want to stick to the leaves?
Yeah, you're picking it up.
Yeah, I guess the stems are extra fiber, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying if they go in, it's still edible. It's just not going to be won't be as nice. But, so, finish picking these and then I'll get the radishes right in. Kind of look out for noxious weeds and stuff that might show up.
Weeds?
Yeah, sometimes, you know, you get some weeds in the field and they come up with the bundles of veggies.
Oh, do they?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
I always look out for... Not everything that grows is edible, so...
No, but I'm kind of surprised that, like, we even have weeds at this point.
Oh, it's easy to
It's
overlook.
barely gotten into the season. It seems like things are just barely sticking their heads up.
Yeah. No, and it's easy to overlook when you're bundling stuff, so...
Yeah, that's fair. It's all the same color and leafy, so...
And you've probably been doing it for hours already that day.
Yeah. There's only a certain level of monotony I think anybody's brain can handle.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh, the inside of those radishes look so beautiful.
Yeah, they are super bright.
Yeah, they are. I know, I'm bummed we had to miss our farmer's market this past weekend. I was really hoping to...
Yeah, left
some
too early to go to the one in Lexington and got here too late to go to the one here. So
Yeah.
just kind of...
Well, these are from last week, and they actually held up really well. They're
Yeah.
not, like, wilty or mushy or
Yeah,
anything.
I mean, you can get a solid... When they're as fresh as they are.
Yeah.
Because these guys pick everything the day before they're going to market.
Did storing them in the plastic bag help with
Yeah,
preserving them a
so
little bit, too?
especially in the drawers, like anything leafy has to be kind of in a bag to help it retain its crispness. And they were still starting to go. But
Yeah,
as soon as
they're
you...
not like farmer's market fresh at this point, but they're not like
But when you start hitting
Yeah.
them with that cold water, they will typically kind of...
perk up a little bit.
Yeah.
If you soak them for like a longer period of time, would that be beneficial, or would they get waterlogged?
So sometimes you can soak like stuff if it's starting to sag and you can bring it back, and sometimes it's too far gone. It's always worth a shot, I guess. Ice, if you make it ice water, it also helps.
Okay.
But it only needs to go in the ice water for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I've done that before with like limp celery.
Yeah.
Stick it in some ice water for a few minutes and it
Yeah.
comes back to life.
So I was supposed to weigh this, so I know I have a recipe for this actually, guys. I know I usually wing it, but let's see what we got. I'm gonna have to do some math. Because I have a restaurant size batch, so.
Yeah, it's a lot of pesto. Especially since it's just us today.
Well, we're gonna eat it tomorrow too, so. Well, let's see what we got. So a quarter batch. We are gonna do a quarter batch here. So I had, just for reference, this is 74 grams of radish leaves. And we are going to do, let's see, I don't want to do this in my head. 35 grams. This is where you'd put in your toasted pistachio, little toasted pine nuts. We got a little bit of pumpkin seeds. Not quite enough, but it'll still be good. We're only short 10 grams.
We just forgot to get it at the store, so. Kind of a scramble.
What else? We're going to do 35 grams of grated parm as well.
Always grate it fresh too, if you can. Get the good stuff.
It's just so much better.
It is so much better.
So,
Plus there's no fillers or God knows what makes those things able to sit on the shelf.
well, parm can sit out
Yeah, that's fair.
pretty much because of the high salt content, low moisture.
Yeah.
Like real Parmesan can just kind of sit out. All right. My head's probably in the way because I'm trying to
No, you're good.
grate 35 grams of parm.
We're not on the overhead
All
right
right,
now.
so Parmesan's in. Now we are going to do 100 grams of oil, which I will weigh out into here. I need to do blended. I like to do a mix. Well, we don't have to here at home. At the restaurant, I'd kind of blend it because olive oil sets up in the refrigerator. So for us in the kitchen, mixing it with a more neutral oil that doesn't set up in the fridge just makes it easier to work with.
Makes sense.
Even though sometimes our sunflower oil is high enough in oleic acid to still set up, but
Well, we use the really good stuff.
yeah, the
Cold
local,
pressed, hexane free.
locally, yeah, fresh. The oil was no longer than 4 weeks old ever.
Yeah.
So, cool. So since we are using radish tops instead of basil, which this traditionally would be, you know, basil pesto, we're not going to get any of that anise or citrusy notes that the basil would usually have. I'm going to do a little lime zest in this. You know, if you want to do lemon zest, that's probably what I wrote on the shopping list. So that's also fine.
Do we run out of lemons too?
Yeah. So, just a little to add some extra flavor. So that was like zest of a half lime, zest of half lemon, especially on this size batch. It's fine. So, all I did was put everything in. So we're going to come over here. Got this turned on. Do a pinch of salt. Now in this, sometimes I do a little pepper, but these radish tops should have some pepperiness to them.
Yeah, they're usually a little spicier.
So we're not going to really mess with pepper today. Do a little scrape down here. So if you have a smaller food processor than we do, it'd be a little easier. But if you don't have a food processor, you could really like hand chop all this if you wanted to, but it's going to
take a minute.
It's going to be a pain in the butt. I am going to add, also we have this beautiful green garlic, spring garlic from the market. So we are going to add some really nice garlic here.
If we don't have spring garlic, is there a way?
Yeah, regular.
Just like a clove or two, or how much garlic?
For
are we
this
using?
size batch, probably a half a clove.
A half a clove.
If it's, well, it's all relative to how big. If you have the jumbo cloves of garlic, only use half. If you have like, use a whole one if it's smaller though. But you should microplane it right in. Hopefully you have one.
If you don't get one,
Yeah,
and make
after
sure
watch-
it's the actual microplane.
Buy it, spend the extra $2 to get the real microplane branded version.
Yeah.
So, let's get this color here. using the front
Overhead.
So this is a beautiful, bright, amazing green.
Can you tip it towards the light a little bit? It's kind of dark in the bowl.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to see. But really good consistency.
Will you do the front cam now?
Great flavor.
Will you tip it towards me? Thank you.
Like a little bit of lime just to add, you know, you're not necessarily tasting it, but you get it adds that little bit of citrusiness on the back end.
That's like bright.
It's
You
great.
know, it helps kind of break through some of the other
Like-
flavors or tie them all together.
It's just really good. Doing a little more salt.
Always taste your food. You probably need more salt than you think.
Yeah, just give it a try. You know, it's amazing what salt does. All right. This is ready to rock. It's going to be awesome. So we'll leave that here. Nice little garlic, little...
It smells really good.
Yeah.
I haven't even cooked anything yet, and it smells good in here.
So we've got our radishes to kind of go with.
With a little oil,
Yeah, this is going to be
salt.
high heat roast, so we are doing the avocado. Just right on our tray. I'm feeding 2, so yes, we have a lot less food today than usual, but there we go. Beautiful radishes, lightly salted, oiled, right in 500 broil. The oven's holding temp, which is nice. Cool. So that's pesto, really easy, and this will be the best pesto you make. And you can use throughout the year. You know, if you want to do a little arugula and basil together, it'd be really good. You could do straight arugula.
Would you ever use any other like vegetable greens?
The radish tops are good. I've put carrot tops in pesto.
Oh yeah, the carrot tops are really good.
We've done.
We're not quite in that season yet, though, right? The
So
carrots are
so
still
really,
winter.
as you want it to be, if it's leafy and tender, so you could even use like Hakurei turnip tops. Would be nice as well. It's gonna be very similar to this. Once you start getting into any, I would love if you found wood sorrel or some sorrel that was all green, it'd be really nice. But sorrel can also kind of, if you use the purple vein stuff, where you start getting into shards and things, like the colors start to mud and it'll kind of look brown.
Oh yeah.
So you want to avoid. I mean, it'll still taste good. It's just not going to be pretty.
Yeah.
So I kind of avoid that, but it's pretty good either way. Cool. So they're in. They're already sizzling in there.
I hear them.
So let's get.
You had a 500-degree oven?
Yeah. So let's see. Let's do. Just get pan hot for fish, I guess, and then we can.
You're using cast iron for the fish?
Yeah, that's what we cook all our fish in at the restaurants. Cast iron holds heat really well.
And you need to sear in a hot pan, right?
Yeah, it leads to nice even cooking. Sole is really thin, so it's more of this like cook it 95% of the way on one side, and then we're going to touch it on the other side just to kind of, basically it's to kill any bacteria on the exterior of the fish. Just a quick flip, you're done.
Got it.
I'm going to use probably about half of what we got so we can have some more fish tomorrow, but
So if somebody like bought fish and then they like had too much, would it would be better for them to just cook it at a separate time than to like reheat it?
reheating is not, for fish, it's just not good.
Can you do that over here?
I'm getting them out. I'll bring it over
Okay.
because we're going to feel for bones because there's bones in here.
Honestly, I'd like to see you do like a smoked trout dip or something like that.
Yeah, it's fun.
So good.
I'd need a smoker, but
It's okay, we can make one.
all right. So we have our sole, right? So these fish are like super flat, and how these work is
Oh, Rufus knows you're here.
you have, let's see if we have a fish that would be, yeah. So this would have been from the same fish. So one is the bottom, the other one's the top. It's like this. It's pretty cool. Because they like cover themselves in sand on the bottom of the floor of the ocean.
Didn't we like step on one once when we were in Charleston?
Either that or a little ray of some kind.
Yeah,
don't know.
I feel like I remember dealing with that at some point at the beach.
So on these, the bones run down the center line if you're going to have them. So you're kind of looking out for that. And then from the center line, they kind of flesh out this way from on the fillet. So we are feeling for those, and there are some here. And the easiest way to do this on these small of the fish, you just kind of want to cut. We're going to cut them out of here because you can't really pick them out.
Do they break?
What?
The bones, do they break? Like
What-
if they're that small, is that why you can't pick them out?
Yeah, it's just, even when you're doing flounder, you take the fillets off one at a time. So it's like a way bigger, and you just take it off here, and then you're left with 2 fillets.
How did that happen?
Well, never a dull moment here. So, anyway, it's a good time. Always with the fire alarm. Cool. No bones here. And a couple bones here. So, all right. So, fire alarms and all, we're going to lightly salt one side of this fish. because of how thin it is. Wow. You'd think I was burning it down. Anyway. Cool.
I lost my hearing now.
Yeah. Anyway. Searing fish. Let's talk about it. We season one side because it's super thin and very lightly. Heating up the pan now, it's on high, letting it get hot.
You put oil in it already?
Yeah, I just went ahead and added it. We took the bones out of all the fish. Anything that we felt. We're gonna squeeze, so Beurre Blanc, same process. I'm gonna do Beurre Fondue, which is just water. But it's the same technique, so you want to make sure you use cold butter for this because you want it to emulsify and not break on you. Just is better to do really cold butter for that process. We got like a half a stick here. We're gonna put a little cold filtered water right in the pot. And we're gonna use some juice for acidity. As high as the pan can take it. Pan's a little narrow for the burner, so it's on like medium high. You want it to be boiling before you add butter. So, and then before you add more butter, bring it back up to a boil. But we'll go over that. Pan's getting hot. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. And yeah, I pulled the radishes, turned the oven off. They're nice. That's what set off the fire alarms this time.
Doesn't take much.
They're way too sensitive. So, with our fish, my little fillets are cut in half already. Boom.
Could you potentially do these like breaded and fried that way too? If
Yeah,
you
sure.
wanted to do your glaze that way?
I've done some really cool dishes where we just dredge them in cornmeal and sear them up to give them a little extra crispy crust. That's probably my favorite way to do it.
I was actually
Well,
surprised that you didn't do it today.
little cornmeal dredge,
Yeah.
but can't put a pan on the middle because they didn't design the grates to be centered over the burner. So
Put it on the side of the pan,
yeah. Anyway, your fish is going to cook super fast because of how thin it is. But if you're using, I really wanted to get a skin on bass so we could do the skin on preparation, but another time. Yeah. Same technique though. Of course, we're making a mess. Then I just gotta wash another thing though. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Anyway. I mean, this is already pretty much cooked. And of course, I don't have a fish spatula, so I'm ruining all these. Just destroying the soul. Destroying it. Looks fucking terrible.
You know what? You're just cooking for me.
Yeah, I know. I turned the heat off. Yeah, you want to. Honestly, we would want an even hotter pan than what we put it in. I kind of butchered this. It's an embarrassment to my profession.
You know what, though?
But
It's still gonna taste good.
yeah, I know. But essentially, way hotter pan, dump out the extra oil, that kind of stuff. Anyway. Sauce is not boiling. Probably won't come to a boil on this burner. I don't know. So we'll put in all right. Yeah, this pan is nowhere near hot enough for this. I just don't know if it'll work very well here. But the joy of cooking at home, I guess. Honestly, like a glass top would be better for this at home than a,
Well, people might have it. You never know.
yeah. So, once this comes back to a boil, put in another tab.
This always needs his water right before live stream is wrapped up.
Put in a tab, put in some salt, a little pinch. Every few minutes you need to swirl it around and keep the butter emulsifying into the liquid. But you do want it to stay hot. I mean, it should realistically be boiling the entire time you're making this sauce. Yeah. All right, it's boiling. Put in another tab. Let's see.
There you go. Now it's going.
Ah. Cool. It's boiling. Keep it hot, keep the butter moving.
So how do you emulsify this?
It just naturally does as it melts.
Is it partially like a reduction of the water, or?
Yeah, so your fat to water ratio gets to that perfect balance point, or fat to wine ratio gets to that perfect point where it becomes a homogeneous sauce, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
If you over reduce it, if you add a splash of water back in, if you break it, you can bring it back. It's just the two of us, so we're pretty close. I mean, I'm not going to make more than this, but if I do break it, I'll show you how to save it, but I shouldn't break it, so.
If you break it, that means that it over reduced?
Yeah.
So you just need to add water back.
Splash back in, swirl it around, bring it back.
So and when it breaks, it looks kind of curdled?
It looks like there's fat floating on top.
Oh, okay.
So this should be, you'll see it. It kind of coats your spoon, makes this nice little sauce. Like so. There you go. Nice acidity. Little butter. Cool.
Okay.
So.
Can you not put the hot pan on the plastic?
What?
Don't put the hot pan on the plastic.
That's fine. Cool. So we'll plate this up here. We're going to take some of this pesto. Put it on your radishes. Just nice, pretty.
you move that pot out of the way? Like, out of the way. Thank you.
Radishes. And we can take some of these massacred fish fillets.
That one's beautiful.
Try and give you the nice ones for the photo. Kind of stack them on there like that. Classic for fish. And then this really nice touch of butter. Boom.
She's beautiful.
There it is.
Super simple cooking.
Extremely simple.
Super
and
light.
fast.
Perfect spring.
This is a nice hot meal for a hot day. It's not
It is.
super hot here today, but
No, it's nice out. Definitely
is.
better than snow.
it is nice. So,
Yeah.
anywho, yeah. Thank you for being here. Hope you enjoyed this very fast production today. It's not really, I guess, still almost an
That's
hour.
almost an hour, yeah.
Don't do what I did to sear your fish. Make sure you strain off your excess oil and you'll have better results. But, anywho, until next time, thank you so much for being here. And we'll be back next week with some other cool stuff. Hopefully, hopefully the markets this weekend are loaded up so we can make a fun dish, maybe even 2 courses, who knows. So
We'll see. Well, we're
We will
getting
see.
closer and closer to that season where we have all the things again, so.
yeah. But yeah, all right. Well, we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys. Happy Easter.
Yeah, happy Easter.